The social media world you knew is dead, and coaches who aren't podcasting in 2025 are getting left behind. Have you noticed how your social media posts are getting less engagement despite putting in more effort? The algorithm gods have spoken, and they're favoring a completely different approach now. By the end of this video, you'll discover the 5 undeniable reasons why starting a podcast is the single most powerful move you can make for your coaching business right now. And I'll show you exactly how to get started without expensive equipment or technical expertise. Look, I've been in the content game for years, and I'm about to drop some truth bombs that might sting a little. But sometimes the truth needs to hurt before it can help. The social media landscape has completely transformed. In 2019, you could post a few times a week and build a following. In 2021, you needed daily content. But now we're in a whole different world. Let me show you what's happening. Instagram reach is down 44% for business accounts. LinkedIn's algorithm now buries promotional content. Facebook organic reach is below 2% for most pages. And TikTok, the average view time is just 5 to 10 seconds before someone swipes away from your carefully crafted video. Meanwhile, podcast listeners stay engaged for an average of 35 to 40 minutes per episode. This isn't just a trend, it's a fundamental shift in how people consume content. Your potential clients aren't just scrolling anymore, they're seeking depth and they're finding it in podcasts. Imagine becoming the go-to authority in your field. Picture yourself interviewing famous guests you've always admired. Visualize waking up to notifications of new client inquiries who already trust you because they've spent hours listening to your voice and absorbing your expertise. That's the power of podcasting for coaches and consultants. But I know what you're thinking. The podcast market is already too crowded. It's too late to start. I need expensive equipment. Growing a podcast takes too much time. I used to believe these limiting beliefs too. When I first considered starting a podcast, I was paralyzed by the fear of not being good enough. I spent months researching equipment I couldn't afford, worrying about editing software I didn't understand, and obsessing over the perfect podcast name. I wasted precious time that could have been spent building my audience and growing my business. Here's the brutal truth. Every day you wait to start your podcast is one less day of compound growth, one missed networking opportunity, and one lost chance to position yourself as an authority in your field. Your competitors are already grabbing this opportunity, and your potential clients are already tuning into someone else's voice. 1. The social media collapse is here. This is absolutely crucial. We're witnessing the death of short-form content effectiveness for coaches and consultants. Let me share some real examples that prove this shift. Marie Forleo, who built an 8-figure business primarily on YouTube and long-form content, recently admitted her Instagram growth has flatlined despite increasing her posting frequency. Lewis Howes saw his podcast downloads increase by 143%, while his Instagram engagement dropped by 38%, using the exact same content topics. Brené Brown's podcast reached 1 million downloads in record time, something her social channels with millions of followers couldn't achieve with similar content. This is going to blow your mind. Coaches with podcasts are reporting 5 to 7 times longer engagement times compared to their best performing social posts. We're talking 40 plus minutes of undivided attention versus 6 to 8 seconds on Instagram. When you got that much time with someone, you can really make an impact. You're literally in people's ears while they work out, drive to work, cook dinner, or walk their dog. Think about this. What other marketing channel gives you undivided attention for that long? The algorithms have made it nearly impossible to reach your audience consistently without paying for ads. But podcast subscriptions create a direct line to your audience that no algorithm can block. Can you feel how powerful this is? You're building relationships on autopilot in a way that social media simply can't match anymore. Becoming the go-to expert in your field happens faster with a podcast than any other medium. The truth is, when you consistently share valuable insights through a podcast, people naturally begin to see you as an authority. Your expertise is on display week after week, establishing you as a trusted voice in your field. Every single episode is a networking opportunity on steroids. When you host a podcast, you're creating opportunities with every interview. Each guest you bring on opens new doors. That 60-minute conversation could lead to a new business venture, a lucrative partnership, speaking engagements, or joint ventures. Listen closely to what I'm about to share. Here's how the guest domino effect works. You interview an industry leader. They share the episode with their audience, their followers become your followers, new guests reach out to you, and the cycle repeats, watching your network explode. But wait, there's more. One 60-minute podcast episode becomes a full video episode on YouTube, 3 to 5 short-form clips for TikTok or Instagram, a social media post on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, email newsletter content. I wish I had known this earlier. A single podcast episode can fuel your content strategy for an entire week. If you want to truly master this transition from social media to podcasting, be sure to check out my podcast academy. The link is in the first comment below. In the academy, I go much deeper into all the elements for a successful podcast and provide many more advanced strategies that I simply can't cover in this video. Now, this is where you want to pay attention. Podcasting makes you a better communicator. Whether you're solo or interviewing guests, you'll naturally become more articulate over time. Speaking into a mic forces you to hone your storytelling skills, organize your thoughts, and present them in a way that resonates. I'm sure you've noticed this too. Coaches with podcasts tend to be better speakers, more confident in sales calls, and more persuasive in their marketing. Look at this carefully. The numbers traditional media doesn't want you to see. Tucker Carlson's Post-Fox podcast, more viewers than his TV show. Joe Rogan, 11 million listeners per episode, larger than CNN's primetime audience. The Daily Wire, proving independent media outperforms traditional networks. If you're still trying to get featured on traditional media channels, it's time to wake up. This might be controversial, but mainstream media is dying. People don't rely on TV news or radio anymore. They want their information unfiltered, real, and straight from the source. You're probably wondering if this really applies to coaches and consultants. Absolutely. Your potential clients are already listening to podcasts in your niche. The question is, are they listening to you or your competitors? In this new social media reality, you have two choices. One, keep fighting the algorithms, creating endless content that disappears in seconds and watching your reach gradually decline. Or two, build a podcast where you own the relationship with your audience, position yourself as the go-to authority, and create content that works for you 24/7. Think about where you want to be in 12 months. Known as a thought leader in your space, connected to key players in your industry, building a loyal, engaged audience that regularly converts into clients, immune to algorithm changes and social media platform shifts. It all starts with one decision, one mic, one episode. If you're ready to thrive in this new content landscape, I've created something special for you. My Podcast Academy walks you through every step of creating, growing, and monetizing your podcast, designed specifically for coaches and consultants who want to stand out in 2025. From choosing the perfect topic and name to attracting top guests and converting listeners into paying clients, I've packed everything you need into this comprehensive program. You'll also learn my exact system for turning one podcast episode into weeks of social content that actually drives traffic back to your show. Click the link if you'd like to find out more about my Podcast Academy. Every element of a successful podcast, the social media world has changed. Make sure your content strategy changes with it. I'll see you in the next video.